Welcome to the Sacred Emergence Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Wong, and I'm so thrilled that you're here. This is a place where you'll be guided to living your most aligned life so that your truest, most radiant self can emerge. We'll be jamming on topics ranging from spirituality, entrepreneurship, to wellness and lifestyle design, and everything in between that can support you to grow, evolve, and shine, all the while not taking ourselves too seriously. So if you're ready to step into your leadership, break through limiting beliefs, own all of who you are, and expand in abundance, grab yourself your faith cup of tea and let's dive in. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Sacred Emergence. It's Michelle Wong here, and welcome. This is your first time listening, and welcome back. If you are a regular listener, I'm so grateful for you. And today is a solo episode. I'm feeling like I have a lot to share today. And so this episode is going to be more of like a jam sesh of things I wanted to share. So first off, I'm recording this on like the 3-month, I don't want to say anniversary, but 3 months on to the day since my knee injury. And just a quick update. I have progressed so much in terms of my healing process. I am able to walk without crutches, and oh my gosh, it feels so good. I still go out with one crutch because just for a little bit of security and safety, because I'm still practicing walking with just 2 legs. And let me tell you, it's like a mental focus. It's a mental process of, okay, I have to be conscious of like the mechanics of walking. So I'm literally learning how to walk again, something that, none of us have to do since we're like 2 or 1. But I have to say, it just feels like this whole journey, if I have to share, like highlight the top lessons, it's really been around gratitude. Gratitude for just like the simplest things of just being able to go outside, take the stairs, go outside and have fresh air, going for a walk, even if it's just 5 minutes. Like I am so grateful to be able to move my body and have both feet on the ground as I'm walking, and just the littlest things. I will not take those things for granted. And another aspect is like one thing that, I talked about in past episodes related to my injury is like just the support, the amount of support that I've received, and being able to receive the support has first like so much gratitude to that. But how it just, this whole experience has reminded me the importance of interdependence. I mean, I'm personally like a very independent, I can do it person. And actually it's part of my human design that I'm meant to do things alone. I can do things alone. I don't necessarily need a partner in my life. But if I want one, I, can definitely have one. And this whole experience has reminded me of, hey, it's like way more fun to not go it alone. And when an injury like this happens, like you can't do it alone. And so the importance of having a supportive community, it's like the village. And I was talking to a close friend of mine. We were talking about this because she's a mom of like 3 children. And she's like, oh my God, like, fuck dependence or independence. Like I need a village, like no more of this. I can do this alone, right? Like what is this story that women create for themselves that they could do stuff alone? Like even though we can, it doesn't mean that we should. So that was very clear when I experienced, not being able to do the simple things like carry my laundry basket to my laundry room. I couldn't do that. So I had to like wait until someone came over and be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Otherwise I wouldn't have clean underwear. So anyways, that was a huge just realization for myself, and experiencing that made me realize things that we don't necessarily think about or things that we take for granted. It's so important to have a support system. And I realized that friendship is crucial, and I was so grateful for all my friends and even acquaintances that reached out, and not to take those relationships for granted. And it is worth the effort of investing time and energy in building friendships and connections, right? And I know we're all so busy. We're busy living our own lives that if we don't see certain people every day, then relationships can kind of fall off. And I personally make it my best effort to reach out to people, to, have brunches once in a while, to go on coffee dates or catch up, even if it's over Facebook, video or phone, just even if it's just for 20 minutes or so, if I'm driving or whatever. And those little things make a huge difference in the long term. So just a little plug for you to make sure that you are nourishing your relationships, especially those that with people that you want to create friendships and relationships with. And I think one of the biggest pieces that has shifted over the 3 months, well, two, I started meditating to Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation. And oh my gosh, I love meditating. And Dr. Joe's meditations fell into my lap when I wanted to find a meditation where it was really about changing the state of my body, like healing my body. And, a lot of people say that your ACL cannot be repaired on its own, or, there's a lot of medical statements and facts out there saying, oh, well, you cannot heal from this. You're going to need surgery, or there's no cure. Or, you're not going to live, or whatever, like all of these predictions that aren't true, but it's ingrained in the medical field. So people just regurgitate it. And I'm like, bullshit. Like, I believe that my ACL can heal itself. And so I just needed a meditation that would support that. And I just remember Dr. Joe Dispenza and his story of with his accident. And the doctors told him that if he didn't get surgery, because he had like a major spine accident, he was hit by a car when he was biking, when he was cycling, that he would be paralyzed if he didn't do surgery. And they had to insert a rod in his spine and all this. And I'm reading his story and I'm just like, oh my God, that sounds terrible. Like, just his accident and the amount of damage done to him was just like, oh. And so he decided not to get surgery. And, he spoke to he got a lot of different second, third, fourth opinions from really well-known surgeons and experts. And he decided to not do it. So he went against mainstream. And for those of you who follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, like, he's all about like the mind and being in the quantum field. And so it goes into like deep science and physics. But I read his book, You Are the Placebo, and he talks about how when we can train our brain to train our body to do things differently. So I think for him, after, I forget how many weeks, maybe 9 weeks of like 4 hours of meditation every day, literally like visualizing his spine and his body repairing itself, knowing what to do, all the cells healing. After 9 weeks, he was able to walk. And now he is, doing his work on stage and hosting retreats and all his courses and his books. And so I've been doing his meditation. The one that I was gifted was You Are the Placebo Meditation 2. And it's, I think, changing one perception. And so I've been doing that pretty much every day. And it's around 45 to 50 minutes. So it is a carving out time. But I love it. I love it so much. I look forward to it. And when I'm meditating, first of all, time goes by so fast. I'm like, I can't believe that was 50 minutes. And he talks a lot about being in the quantum field, right? Of when you're in the quantum field, you're in this different dimension of space. And he talks about the science behind it. And when you're in that space of possibility, the infinite possibility, all the potential of what can happen, you're putting your focus on what is possible. And the quantum field is where you're in the unknown. And so when you're in the unknown, anything and everything is possible. And we have to train our mind and our body to get it out of our routine, out of our current paradigm, out of our stuckness, the things that we focus day in and day out, and to take it out of that mindset and to focus on something different, something that we would want instead. And it's in that space that shift happens. So it's amazing. And one of my favorite parts is when he invites the person who's meditating, so in this case me, when he invites me to tap into like, how am I feeling in that future state, in my future visualization? And always, it's like I'm already feeling so grateful. And that feeling of gratitude, which I talked about just in this episode, it feels like just so good. I don't know how else to describe it. Like there's just like all of my cells are warm. It's like this high vibe state. And just gratitude in general is a high vibe state. I mean, it's like a really high frequency, and the more we can tap into that space of gratitude, the more we're tapping into that space of abundance. So it's like, it feels amazing. It's like I'm getting this injection of like endorphins and it feels incredible. So, I so encourage this meditation. I'll include a link in my show notes if you want to take a look at it. And it is so worth the time to invest in. And his book is really great too. So his book explains more about the meditation and like stories of the placebo and all of that, if you want to get into the science of it all, but I highly recommend it. And I do want to say, like, with what I shared about like our mind, and I don't mean to tell you to like ignore doctors and be irresponsible. That's not what I mean. You got to go with your body and go with what feels right for you. And I do have to say that I did speak with my surgeon, and he said that my ACL, my entire knee, is intact. And I don't need surgery. And I did tell him, I'm like, great, because I was feeling that. But obviously I wanted to get a confirmation from it. And I told my surgeon that I believe that my ACL is repairing itself. And bless him, he agreed. And he was like, yeah, it's possible that your ACL has maybe a hair to another ligament, so it's getting stronger like that. Like he totally like rode my belief. And so there's so much to be said about self-trust and just believing in miracles, and trusting our body, and being responsible, right? So anyway, I just wanted to say a little disclaimer. I don't want anyone sending me hate mail for saying, don't trust surgeons or whatever. Find a really good one. Anyway, so one thing that I've also been, having 3 months and more of having more space and time to really reflect. It's given me a bigger perspective on things of where am I going in my life, what is in alignment, what is not in alignment, because I haven't been able to go every day to my part-time job. I've really had to take a step back and see like, well, what's really important for me right now? And through that, I was able to really express my needs to my boss, and also like in terms of, hey, like right now, I'm not able to come into work every day. I need time for myself. I need to ease back into my life. Um, and, you know, I pretty much walked away from my job. Um, and because I was like, he needs someone who can be more available right now. And I was willing to let that go and trust that what's meant for me is going to unfold. And my boss heard me and he allowed me to work from home, which has made life so much easier. And it took like the pressure off of having to go to work every day, despite the fact that it was actually not in my best interest. And so now there's just more freedom. There's more like, I can do work from home. I can show up at work as needed, as it's in my schedule, so I can go to my appointments. And it was just a matter of stating my need. So that feels really good. And so this time off has really just allowed me to trust in the process and thinking a lot about, okay, like what does it mean to make money? And this is going to be a separate episode, but like um it's, when I was meditating, in the quantum fields with Dr. Joe Dispenza, like it really gave me a different perspective on money and allowing me to embody what does it mean to make money. Because with this injury, I haven't, been able to go to work. And even though my job was part-time, it still allowed me to pay rent and all that. The income went towards rent and, whatnot. So the perspective around money has shifted in a way where I'm able to embody the fact that wealth and abundance is not coming from my bank account. And that's a different conversation, but I wanted to just kind of share that because I'm embodying more that money, wealth, abundance, like it's through the divine, right? Like God is my bank account. God is my source. And yeah, and so I'm tapping into that and also like talking about the quantum field. That's where all things are possible. Um, and so I'm just trusting that, money, abundance, prosperity, it's a lot of it is in our state of mindset and our heart set and um, of trusting, right? And when I'm meditating in that quantum field, like it's already happening. All the good that is meant for me, that is meant for us, it's already happening. It just, getting into the 3D physical world, it takes a little bit of time, but trusting that it's happening. And like, I have so much to say about this, but it's allowed me to think bigger, to trust bigger, and to play bigger, and to be more creative and to trust the creative flow of things. So with that said, a lot of my time lately has been spent learning more on human design, something that I think is actually really important, especially around coaching, mentorship, if you're working with different people, because we're all like, we all have a different energy imprint. And if you heard my episode with Katie Calder, she's a human design expert, so she talks a lot about human design. So you might want to catch that episode. Um, it's actually really cool because we're all here to we have different ways of sharing our energy and our ways of being, right? And tying that with astrology, um, it makes like our uniqueness so like we're not meant to be like other people, right? We're not meant to be carbon copies. We're not meant to be duplicates. And this is my passion. When I talk about like inner leadership and inner confidence, the more we know ourselves, right? The more we understand ourselves and our imprint of like our who we are here on earth at this present moment, at this incarnation. Um, like we're all so unique and we're all here for a purpose that we're not meant to be the same, like we are all equal, but we all have different gifts, we all have different strengths, and the way that we see the world, our own perspective, it all has value. And so I've struggled with that for so long because um, I I tend like I was conditioned to be a people pleaser. So if I say something that is not in harmony with other people's opinion, I will pull back, right? Because it doesn't feel good to not be part of the crowd, right? Or to have a different perspective on things. But since learning that my human design is a manifester, like that's my role. My role is to poke at the system. It's to kind of disturb the fabric of life and to share a different way. And when I realized that, I'm like, oh, no wonder I can feel so isolated at times. I don't prescribe to the idea that I'm lonely. I never feel lonely. Sometimes I could feel alone, but like I'm meant to cause a ripple, right? Positive or negative, and um, it's not my responsibility to like worry about how someone else might perceive what I just thought or said. It's my responsibility to make that impact because my role here is to make an impact. So like that has given me like such a big perspective on my voice and what I'm here to offer. And a huge piece is to know thyself. And it really is an alignment, even with my astrology, of leadership, of like my purpose here, and to do it in a way that is nurturing and with compassion. So that just like for me, I feel like everything is starting to align. And it's like it's given me confidence to be who I am. And that is like my role here is to encourage and facilitate and guide women to trust their process and to tap into their inner leadership. Because when we're able um, to see our own strengths and know our own gifts, the more we can be ourselves and to shine our gifts and be who we are meant to be in this world. And in a way that doesn't water us down, right? Because we're not meant to be like everybody else. And this is why I don't prescribe to like, here's a formula for, I don't know, building an audience, or here's the formula to this and that, getting rich, whatever that, when I look at like a lot of the marketing copy out there of like 6 ways to blah, 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 I mean, it's 6 ways, yes, I can understand like here are 6 steps or here's 6 ways, but it's like the blueprint to success. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Maybe for you, but not for other people, right? Like it just depends, right? We're all designed differently. And so what's true for me might not be what's true for you. And this is why I believe the combination of human design, astrology, and really showing up to do the deep personal work, that's where the magic is. And so with the how to's of like, well, how do I, start a business? How do I build an audience? How do I, you know, um, grow a following? Like the how to, I always say, is the 20%, right? It's easy. Like I can give you how to's out the door, right? Because it's really just a matter of trying it out and taking action and experimenting and seeing what works. Because again, what works for someone is not going to work for everyone. But the 80%, right? If you look at the Pareto principle, 80% of the actual work is in yourself, is in the personal growth of doing your own work, of aligning into what's true for you, so that you are tapping into your own wisdom, your own alignment, so that when you share something, there's a resonance of truth that it resonates with others, right? Versus I'm just saying this because I was told to do this. And that's why I'm not that coachable. I realize that when I work with coaches, like I work with coaches because I admire them and I love what they're saying, what they're creating. I resonate with what they're saying. And a part of me has my own filter. So I'm not that coachable. I'm like probably 75 to 85% coachable, but I have my own opinion on things and I have to honor that, right? Anyway, that's like a little tangent, but all to say that one of the downloads that I got is the work and the offering that I'm meant create in this world. So you're going to see more of that in 2020, January 2020. And I am opening doors already to one-on-one mentorship with me, and I have 3 spots left. So if you want to learn more about um, what that looks like, and working with me is not necessarily the how-tos. Like I'll definitely offer how-tos in business if that's something that you want. But it's more about being in alignment with you and what is your strength, what's your frequency of how you want to create, how you want to be in the world, and your imprint, um, and supporting you, encouraging you, and guiding you to really see your strength, your truth, your power, and letting that come through so that you can um, create what you want to create in this world, right? Be it in just feeling good in your day to day, having more of that alignment, and and I'm just so excited. So I have 3 spots left for one-on-one coaching, and we start in 3 months chunks. And then I'll also be offering human design astrology readings. Look for that in January. But if you're already curious, I am offering like intro specials that you can start signing up for. And then with the other piece of my business where I partner with a nutritional wellness company, that is coming back. I'm just feeling really aligned with talking more about finances and money and creating wealth in a way that is a completely different paradigm of what we're currently taught, right? The linear income. And I do believe that residual income and creating within a team, there's so much power to that. But just because we're in a team, it doesn't mean that we're doing everything the same. And that has been my biggest struggle of building within a team, because we're all unique. So the team is really it's like a culture. It's encouragement and support, but I want to guide people who are in my team to do it their way, to build a business their way. But we're aligning with a company so that you're getting way more support, and it makes things a little bit easier at times, especially when we are in alignment, that it takes a lot of the creation work out of the way, and then we can start learning the skills of personal growth, development, showing up and being of service. And this is especially for people who might not know where they want to start yet in a business, but definitely have the support at a lower cost, lower investment, but still having the mentorship and the weekly support. So there's that as well. So I have 3 offerings that are rolling out. I'm stoked, and spots are already being filled. And if you want to know more, none of this is really out on my website. But shoot me a DM through Instagram. That's like probably the fastest way. michellewong.xo. And yeah, I am super, super stoked for what's to come. We are already, less than 2 months until the end of the year. And, if you're in the US, like a week or 2 away from Thanksgiving. And this is like, for me, this time of the year is where ideas, inspiration, expansion starts to flow in. December is like one of my favorite times of the year. And I'm going to also share, this morning I started getting ideas around like what would be really fun, what would be challenging for me, but also really fun because it's pushing me to grow. And this is inspired by Viola Hug, who I interviewed her, I forget what episode, it might have been episode 8. But check the show notes. I will share my show notes for Katie Calder's human design episode as well as Viola Hug's. And Viola Hug, she is doing like a 365 days of like daily Facebook lives. And I just love it. And so that is inspiring me to do the same. So I'm just going to share this right now. Like December 1st of 2019 is when I'm going to start day 1 of my 365-day lives. 365-day lives on Facebook and Instagram is going to be a mix. And next year's a leap year of 2020. So it's going to be 366 days Facebook/Instagram lives, and that feels good. It feels partly terrifying because it's like, well, today I don't know what to say, but there's always something to share. So, anyway, lots coming down the pipeline, and I'd love to hear from you. So, do you have any ahas? Do you have anything you want to share? Did this episode resonate with you? I want to hear it. And I love shares. If you can share this episode or share the podcast, do a rating, comment, share it with people who you feel would totally love this. Thank you. Thank you. But you can also do a screen clipping and just tag me. Always tag me, because then I will shout you out and send you so much love. So anyway, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful day, evening, morning, wherever you're at. Love you so much, and stay tuned for more. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mwah. Hold up, not ready yet. I forgot to pull a card for my solo episode. So I went ahead and pulled one. And always the question that I ask for the podcast polls is, thank you, angels, for showing me the wisdom that the listeners would love to hear, know, and receive that can most benefit them for the good of all. And the card deck that I pulled for today is Kyle Gray's Angel Prayers Oracle deck. So this is one that I've never pulled before. It's New Beginning, and it says, "Thank you, angels, for opening up the doors to change. I am ready." So let me see what that says in a little booklet. And I just, when I pulled this card out, I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's a perfect card. So let me find it in the book. The general meaning: a new opportunity will be coming your way, and your angels are helping you walk through the door with ease. You may have felt resistance recently or even been stuck, but here is a new beginning you've been seeking. Take this chance to claim the freedom you deserve. Allow yourself to detach from the dharmas or challenges that have been standing in your way and to move forward. Expanded interpretation. This card indicates that the new opportunity being presented to you at this time is divinely guided. Whether it is a new relationship, home, career, or child, embrace and enjoy this exciting and prosperous new beginning that is being brought to you by God and his angels, or her angels. There is exciting and abundant light surrounding you now. I love it. So that is from Kyle Gray, Angel Prayers Oracle deck. I also wanted to share, and you'll hear this in the outro of the podcast, but my Facebook community, a Sacred Emergence community, is open to everybody, and I'm pretty selective. I have to be honest. I'm pretty selective of who enters because I just want to make sure it's a really safe space for people to show up. So there are 3 questions to answer. And one of them really is, do you want to participate in the 5-day Unlock Your Inner Confidence Challenge? And so there is still, like, you have access to the recordings, and it's okay if you don't want to. You can still join the group. But I just want to make sure that people actually read through the group norms, like the quote unquote rules, because that just makes sure that we're all on the same page. So that's available for you. And then if you do want to participate in the 5-day Unlock Your Inner Confidence Challenge, the recording is there. What I'll do is, I still have to put this together, but it'll be, I'll send out an email with links to the 5 video calls that we did, with links to the homework. Instead of getting 5 emails, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 over 5 days. That can be a lot if you're not actually participating live. But what I'll do is I'll send out an email with links to all of them. And over, a few weeks, I'll send reminder emails. So that's how it will be received. I just think that's a little bit easier to our nervous system rather than just getting a blast of it. And then you can tune in to the videos as you wish, and they're powerful. The 5-day challenge was a huge success, and I'm grateful for everybody who participated. It was amazing. And so if you wanted to participate but you did not get a chance to, you can have access to it. You can send me a DM or join the Facebook group and say you want in, and I will send you the email to the 5-day. So that's all. Okay, have a good one. Bye. Join our free private Facebook group community, Sacred Emergence, to receive more connection, guidance, and support. And take part in our 5-day Inner Confidence Challenge to not only boost your confidence, but to help activate your inner leadership. Details in the show notes. Thank you for listening to the Sacred Emergence podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and thank you in advance for sharing this with others who can benefit. Until next time.